I bought this Sykik Rider SRTP-670 tire pressure monitoring system for my 2020 Tri-Glide, and I just want to show you how to scroll through some of the setup procedures and to give you my thoughts in the end on the controversy surrounding the mounting of the remote TPMS sensor caps on motorcycle rubber valve stems. And this is the Sykik Rider SRTP-670 tire pressure monitoring system. And this is all the stuff you get with it. It came in this nice padded box, quality put together there. And it comes with the head unit, the remote tire pressure valve cap sensing units with nuts to hold it tight, the handlebar clamping system with the nut and with the bolt and the nut, and there's the wrench to tighten these nuts down, and the owner's manual, how to work everything. And these are used to, this one here especially is used to get the battery out of that one when it needs to be done. While riding, these valve stem cap sensors send a signal to the head unit every 64 seconds. And if you're stopped, then it sends a signal every 4 hours to the head unit. And this is what the control module interface looks like. We're showing 26 pounds in the left rear tire, 26 pounds in the right rear tire, and 35 pounds in the front tire. And in the yellow boxes it shows the temperature of the tire: 79 degrees for the left rear tire, 66 degrees for the front tire, and 68 degrees for the right rear tire. There's a little discrepancy in the temperatures. I had it outside and the sun was hitting the tires. This blue thing here is the motorcycle itself, with this right here being the left right rear tire, and this is the left rear tire and the front tire. And in the center section here, you have a battery indicator that indicates the strength of the battery. And as the battery loses its strength, there's 3 blue marks. The blue marks will start going down to 2 marks and 1 marks. I've only charged this thing about 2 times, and I think I've had it about 8 or 9 months. And I just leave it on all the time. I never shut the thing off. The remote sensors batteries are good for about 2 years, and the headset batteries are rechargeable, and they're good for 6 to 9 months. When I first got the unit, I would shut it off after every ride, but then I just got tired of turning it on and off, so I just left it on all the time. And I think I've had it for about 8 or 9 months now, and I've recharged it a couple times just because I wanted to recharge it. But it seems like the battery lasts forever in the headset. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go remove the right rear tire remote sensor, and it's going to simulate a fast release air pressure in the tire, and the warning alert system will go off here, and you'll be able to see that. And there you see the alert system going off with the right rear tire pressure at 0, and the low tire icon flashing up here, and of course the screen's flashing red and going back to normal, and the audible is on also. I can just about guarantee you that you're not going to hear this audible alarm while you're riding your motorcycle down the road. You may see the red light flashing. That may catch your eye. Now remember, I just simulated a rapid loss of tire pressure. I don't think a guy would have much of a chance if he had a blowout or something to do anything about it, but this is what the alert system looks like. Okay, I'd like to show you just the side buttons on this unit, with the set button being towards the top of the unit, and the scroll button being towards the bottom of the unit. And if we turn the unit around, we have the rubber charging port plug, which is a USB micro plug to charge the internal rechargeable batteries, which last about 6 to 9 months. Now, supposedly the headset is waterproof. I have had it in the rain. I've never had any issues with it. But also be careful because this screen scratches really easy. You guys can't see the scratches in it, but I put quite a few scratches in it, which, well, now I'll screw that remote sensor back on and it'll go back to normal. So when you set your low pressure tire alert on this main unit here, and let's just say you set it for 22 pounds, and you want the alert to go off at 22 pounds. When it hits 22 pounds, you're going to see the same similar warning alert system that I just showed you on the rapid release of pressure. The remote tire pressure sensors are also 100% waterproof. The display screen right there is a 1.5 inch display screen there. And I Mickey Mouse my handlebar mount a little bit so I could get a better angle on it, because the way they gave it to you, I just couldn't get the angle that I wanted, so I ended up putting a GoPro mount on it so I could tilt it down more towards the way I wanted it. So yeah, it works really good. This company, Sykik, I guess that's how you pronounce it, they offer an app to go with this TPMS system, but the app only works for the internal TPMS systems, the monitors that are inside the tire. If you have the external ones like I have, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, then the app doesn't work for the external TPMS system. All right, to set the bar or PSI, you just hold the top button in for a few seconds, and it goes to that screen right there, flashes bar PSI, and you push enter, push the top button again. Now it says PSI, and I push the bottom button to go to bar, and back to bottom button back to PSI, and then I'm going to push and hold the set button again to make it sure it stays at PSI. There we go. All right, let's set some high and low tire pressures real quick. I'm just going to push the top set button and hold it for a few seconds. And then that screen shows up, but I'm going to push the lower button, which is the scroll button, and push it once. And nothing shows up. Now I'm going to press it one more time. Now there's where the high pressure setting comes. So I'm going to push the top button top button set to enter that mode. Now it flashes. Now you can use the bottom button there to go up, and it goes all the way to 99 pounds. And then once it hits 99, it goes to 33. And so you can set it between a high pressure between 33 and 99 pounds. So I'm just going to enter that because I don't want to leave it. This is my front tire. If you notice, the front tire is blinking right there, and so is the 41. So I'm going to push set and hold it. That's where I want it. Now I'm going to go into a low pressure. I'm going to set and hold it. I'm going to push the lower button twice. Twice. There's the high temperature, the high pressure. Now there's the low pressure. And the low pressure goes from 15 to 39 pounds. Now I'm going to get out of this by pushing the enter set button here. And then it goes back to that screen. And it's the same principle for the rear tire pressure high-low. You enter, hold the set button, and then you press the lower button once, nothing happens. Press it again. Now we got the high front, low front. Now we've got the high rear, and both tires are flashing. So this just does both tires at the same time. And you do it the same way. You just push the set button, and then the 29 flashes, and you push the rear button to scroll up or down to the high temperature you want. And the high temperature goes from 25 degrees up to 25 degrees. 25 pounds of pressure up to 99 pounds of pressure. And of course, to set that, you just press and hold the set button. So now if you want to set the low pressure for the rear tires, press and hold the set button, go down the bottom button there, Press it, nothing. Press high for the temperature, high for the front tire pressure, low pressure for the front tire, high pressure for the rear tires, and they're flashing, and low pressure for the rear tires. Now, again, all you have to do is push the set button, the 23 will start blinking, and you use the lower button to scroll up or down to what you want your low pressure warning to be set at. And the low pressure goes from 15 as a low up to 28 as a low for the warning alert system there. Now we'll just go back to okay, let's look at the tire temperature settings. You just press and hold that top button, settings, till this shows up. Then you go down to the next button below that, hit it once, twice, and there's the front tire high pressure, front tire low pressure, rear tires high pressure, rear tires low pressure, and tire temperature setting. Now, the temperature is for all three tires. You can't set it individually, it's just for all three of them. If any one of those tires reaches that temperature that you have, goes above it, the alert system, alarm system will go off. And how you set it is you just push the set button once, and then the yellow box flashes, and I have it set for 149 degrees. If you want to go higher, it goes from 149 degrees up to 199 degrees. And to set it to a different number, you just keep pushing the scroll button, and it goes higher and higher and higher till where you want it. And then you just press and hold the set button to save it, like so. And then you're done. And that's all there is to setting the tire temperature. When I'm riding down the road, I do like looking over and looking at the pressure, tire pressure on all three tires, and the temperature of the tires too. If I don't, I wear glasses, and if I don't wear my glasses, I cannot see the yellow tire temperatures, but I can make these out, the pressure out okay. And I'm also going to be honest with you and tell you that sometimes when certain times of day, when the sunlight's hitting it, it washes that whole gauge out and you can't see nothing. It happens, but then, like I say, I can live with it because I do like just looking over there every once in a while and just seeing what my tire pressure sensor are saying. And I just really like the system. It works good, and it's really easy to operate. There are questions as to whether it's safe to use these Sykik remote sensors on top of your motorcycle rubber valve stems. I printed these 3 pages of the description of the Sykik TPMS unit and the warnings, and now I want to just show you what the warnings say. And here's the first warning pulled off their description. It says, please note, if your tire stems are made of rubber, please do not use external sensors that can rupture the stems. And this is the second warning I pulled off the Amazon website of the description. It says, caution, external sensors such as sensors on this model are designed for metal tire stems. Rubber stems, now I don't know which country this unit was manufactured, but I could probably make a pretty good educated guess. Rubber stems could rupture from the internal tire pressure. For rubber stems, please choose internal sensors such as SRTP-670. Now, I found it rather strange that nowhere in this box or anything that came with it, or nowhere in this owner's manual or instruction manual did you find those warning statements that I just read to you off the Amazon website. These warnings only appeared on the Amazon website. So that means that if you was just to go out and buy this Sykik Rider SRTP-670 from some retail outfit and just bought it off their shelf, you would have no idea about those warnings that we saw on Amazon's website. With that in mind, I'd like to point out that I do have rubber valve stems. They're short, real short, If I would have had longer ones out to here, I probably would have heeded their warnings, but since I have real short ones, I decided to go ahead and put them on there. I wasn't too worried about it. If I was, I probably wouldn't have put them on there, but if at some point in my life I get a chance, I'll probably put steel valve stems in there. Okay, this is the right rear tire with a Sykik remote number 2. Okay, I brought some examples of different sizes of valve stems. This little one right here is an example of what I have on my bike, just about 1.5 inches in height there. And this next one here is inch, almost between 1.75 inches and 2 inches. And this last one here is approximately 2.5 inches in height. So you see we have different lengths of valve stems. And these valve stem caps that they come with, they weigh about 0.3 grams. Each one of these weighs about 0.3 grams. And these Sykik remote sensors weigh about 6.7 grams each, while the the nut combined with the center weighs 8.3 grams. So the original valve stem cap is just going to add 0.3 grams of weight to the top of the valve stem, depending on which length that you have. And the combined weight of the nut and the remote sensor on top would add 8.3 grams to the weight on top of the valve stems. So the OEM valve stem caps don't weigh that much, and so if your tire's going around a zillion miles an hour, there's nothing really to worry about. And here's just a shot of the 2.5 inch valve stem with the Sykik remote sensor and nut on it, and the middle one with the 2 inch with the Sykik remote sensor on it, and the 1.5 inch with the Sykik remote sensor on it. So I get it, you know, you're going 100 miles an hour, and this thing was a real tall one going around. I could see where it could flex really easy and maybe rupture. Perhaps that's what they're talking about, and a little bit less of a chance of that happening with the shorter one, and even less of a chance of that happening with the smaller one. So I've been on YouTube and I watched a few videos of guys installing these stem caps right on these rubber valve stems. And to my knowledge, as of today, I haven't read of anybody that has had one of these rupture on them and caused some sort of catastrophe or anything like that. I have a car lift that's rated to lift 8,000 pounds. I consulted a mechanical engineer, and he was telling me that my lift was rated for 8,000 pounds, when in all actuality they can hold 1.5 times the amount they're rated for. And in this case, it would be 8,000 times 1.5, so it could hold 12,000 pounds. But once you have something on the lift that weighs 12,000 pounds, then you're reaching the danger zone. So I'm applying the same principle to the car lift as I am to the rubber valve stems. They factored in all the numbers and came to the conclusion that it wasn't a good idea to use rubber valve stems with these remote sensors. Probably mostly for liability reasons. So if you had the short valve stem with the remote sensor on it, and then you went to the next size up, then your chances probably of it rupturing are a little bit greater than if you went to the bigger one. Then your chances of rupturing would be even greater. You get the picture there, I hope. Because you take that long one, let's just say it's really long, and it's going around your tires 100 miles an hour, yeah, that thing's going to wobble all over the place. But the shorter it gets, the more into a safer zone it becomes. So in conclusion, I'm going to tell you, don't use them. But for me, I am going to use them. I did use them. However, using just common sense and the experience in life of what I've seen, what I know, and my experience with motorcycles over the years. Throw all that in, mix it all up, and I came to the conclusion that I'm just going to put these remote sensors on my rubber valve stems. I could be dead wrong. Now, I'm not a gambler, but I think the odds would be heavily stacked in my favor. And of course, at the first opportunity, I'll change my rubber stems out to metal stems. If I had the 2-inch stems or the 2.5-inch stems, I probably would reevaluate the whole situation.